evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is Bradley Shaw, and tonight I'm talking to new children's author, Will Braid, author of Murray and the Seagull. Good evening, Will. How are you?
Good, Bradley. How are you, mate?
I'm fantastic, thank you. And it's great to see you. And tell us, everyone watching too, what is Murray and the Seagull all about?
Righto. So Murray and the Seagull came about because we had a budgie named Murray, oddly enough, and he escaped. And to try and placate the kids and make them happy again, we wrote a series of books, and Murray and the Seagull is the first of those.
Oh, fantastic! So a series of books. So you actually evolved it into quite a story, quite a series of adventures.
Yeah. So I started with one, and that became two. And the problem I had is I named the first one Jenson the Seagull. Is the character in the first one. That's named after my youngest son. So I thought, I can't leave the other two out. So I wrote another couple. Okay. And then my sister-in-law sort of suggested that I write one about her son. And it just snowballed from there. So all the characters in the 10-book series are named after people we know, kids we know.
Oh, wow. Hope you've got a disclaimer sign from them as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Use their names. But,
yeah, pretty much.
How was their feedback for that? For them, getting the impression of themselves as seagulls and budgies and everything else?
It was interesting. It was the ultimate beta test, I suppose, is to have your book read by your kids. And my kids are pretty brutal. If they think it's no good, they'll tell me it's no good. Like the same way they do with all my dad jokes, I suppose. They'll tell me they're no good and they'll move on. But they were really happy and really enjoyed it. So that sort of gave me the encouragement to keep going.
Good. And what was that stepping stone that put it into publication? What was the thing that led you? Like, you obviously wrote them for a bit of an internal family story and laugh, but then you've obviously looked at them more seriously. What made you think that they were at that capacity and that option?
Interesting question. I suppose I looked at them and thought, geez, there might be something in these, and I've always wanted to write a book of some sort, but had no inclination, talent, any of those sort of cool things you need to write a book. So I put these ones together and I sent them to a couple of mates who've got young kids, and they came back saying their kids really loved them. I thought, I might be onto something here. And then, I don't know, it seems really silly, but I was in one of the department stores and saw Grug on the shelf and Harry McClary and all these sort of ones. I thought, wouldn't it be cool if my book sat next to Grug on a shelf? Wouldn't that be amazing? I thought, well, let's have a crack. So I had a bit of a dig through a couple of publishers and got roundly rejected, and that was fine because J.K. Rowling got rejected 206 times. And then found Shoreline.
Well, good. I'm glad we came to the party. It's been a pleasure too. So tell me, just out of your impression, how as a first-time author have you found the publishing process, the collaboration process, the design process? What have you found most either challenging or most enjoyable? Please give me some contrast.
So in terms of the publishing process, I just find the whole thing fascinating. Like, as a new person to it, it's a case of what can I learn here? And I've learned so much about, the design process and the illustration process. And the illustrator I've used, MK Pairing, has been fantastic. And she's brought the book to life, and I feel like I'm playing a small part, which is great. And I suppose it's a bit like, for me, the publishing process and working through Shoreline Playtime Books, MK Pairing and the distributors and the like, it's like being the back pocket in a football team. You might only contribute 15 kicks a game, but if you win by 10 goals, then yay.
Yeah, everyone wins. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, that's good. And you were happy, of course, with the artwork, which is fantastic. It's a beautiful design.
How good was it?
The book just comes up.
It was just amazing. Like we were blown away when we first saw Murray come to life through the artwork. It was just good. It was phenomenal. I nearly felt. I said to my wife Sarah, this is just one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It nearly made me cry when I first saw it. It was just so brilliant. And I thought, this is just, I couldn't believe anything like that could happen to my little book.
Good. No, she's got some good talent. And, the story was good too, and it gave her inspiration. I mean, I think, was it intentional that you really put those subliminal learnings within the story, like the way Murray and the Seagull deal with the sea?
Yeah, not really. It was just something that happened. And it's funny you should mention it, because as I've gone back and read the other books in the series, they've all got little messages in them.
Yeah.
And that was totally unintentional. So there's one later on in the series where Murray helps an emu learn how to run, for example.
Yeah.
That friendship and kindness and helping out sort of thing happens again. And the whole 10 really come back to Murray being a helpful little bird.
Yeah.
And so there's the message of kindness and helpful and inclusiveness that comes through, that was a total accident and a complete byproduct.
No, well, that's good. I mean, but it's an important message, and kids need to understand little things like that. When they read stories, they need to be fun, but they need to have something that just engages kids. And subconsciously, you can really teach them a lot through children's books.
Yeah,
and you did that really well, even though you didn't mean to.
Yeah, and I've made this point before talking to when my kids are going through school and learning to read, they'll bring the book home from school and says, the ball is red.
Yeah.
And the kids go, this is just, I'm not interested in this. It's boring.
It's boring. A challenge.
They don't want to read those books. They want to read books about fun things, like whether it's a budgie and a seagull, or whether it's a game of cricket or a Viking or a pirate or something like that. That's what they want to read and get involved in, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Like they want to read about, pop-offs and stuff that are funny.
Yeah, that's right.
But still learning without realizing they are learning. And that's what schools and places look for now. And that's the trick of being a good children's writer. And as you said, you did it accidentally. And as a publisher, I think I should recommend to you going forward, any more interviews you do, you should really brag on the fact that that's an intentional part of your writing skill.
Oh, yeah. I studied 6 years at uni, and
psychology is your major
psychology degree, and, all that sort of thing. Absolutely.
Don't undermine yourself. No, it's good. But no, it is. It's a really natural, friendly story and really fun. I think a lot of kids and even parents are going to get something, enjoyable out of the book. So I'm really proud of what you've achieved and how we've helped, and I'm really happy with everything.
Yeah, I hope so. It's really cool. Like, there's got to be something in it for the parents as well. And I don't want to give the ending of the book away because it's got a wicked little plot twist after about 16 pages, which is just the highlight of my 10 books, I reckon. It's why we chose this first.
Yeah, good.
But it's got a little thing for the parents, and the parents are going to go, "Oh, of course, yep, seen that."
So that's the other thing too. Like parents also, a lot of parents do like to, want to write children's books. We get a lot of submissions and such. And do you have any advice for parents or people even looking to write children's books? What would you, having what you've learned, what would you tell them now?
Yeah, there's a couple of keys. The first key is fun. Like it's got to be fun, and you've got to enjoy the writing process. But I suppose the biggest key to me is the only thing holding you back is yourself. In that regard. So if you want to write a children's book, you might not be able to illustrate it, you might not be able to design it, you might think you've got no talent at all, but if you want to do it, you'll do it. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. Get out there and take yourself out of your comfort zone, because 100% of people who haven't improved are living in their comfort zone.
Yeah, pretty much. Have you had much feedback yet from the book? Any people come back to you? What have they said? Must have been feedback.
The best feedback I got was I took the series into my 10-year-old daughter's class. And read them to the class as a bit of a beta test. Yeah. And the kids were laughing and giggling and asking questions about the writing process, which was quite interesting, because they're saying, "How did you write it? How do you find words that rhyme?" Things like that. These questions from these kids was amazing, and they were so engaged and happy. And the grade 1 teacher saw that these kids were happy in grade 3 and 4, so she invited me to that class on the same day.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So, and it's important that's your key audience,
That is.
Yeah.
And that sort of grade 1-2 cohort where they're just learning to read and they're still, working out sounds and phonetics and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. They're practicing and they want to learn, and they're little sponges. So to have those kids engaged and happy was a real, shot in the arm. Yeah, good. And just out of curiosity, when you were a young tacker, what was your children's book? What was your stories that you remember, recall? I was very much a Grug fan. I loved Grug. I still love Grug. I mean, Grug is Grug. But I was Grug, Harry McClary, and Mem Fox and Pamela Allen books were quite popular. My mum's maiden name is Allen, so Pamela Allen books were quite popular at my place. Just a quick one too. Just everybody watching, if I can, please grab a copy of Will Braid's new book, Murray the Seagull. It's available through all bookstores and everywhere online that books are sold as of November. So we do ask you to go into your local bookstores where possible, because you can help support those local businesses, and that's really important for our industries as well. Everybody just grab a copy of that book. That'd be great. And Will, thank you for your time tonight. Yeah, no worries at all. Helping us understand the mindset of a talented children's books author, and there's plenty more to come by the sounds of it, which is exciting. Yep, a few in the pipeline, which is good. I can't wait. This whole process has been amazing, whether it's been the writing, designing, marketing. Marketing's been so much fun. We've been on a virtual tour of Australia on the laptop. It's just been great. I love it, and I'd recommend it to anybody who wanted to have a go at writing a book and just see how you go.
And good. And while we're here, if I can ask, what was, you mentioned it earlier, but what was that main ambition you have for this book?
So the main ambition I've got for this book is, if one kid reads it, that's a result. That's the main ambition.
Yep.
And that comes about from, I've got this philosophy for a long time. A book read is a story shared.
Definitely.
And that's where it comes from. So, I mean, I'd like to sell 1 million books all over the world and, have it read by Princess Mary in Denmark and, all these fun things. But, just to have one book sold would be a marvelous thing. That one kid can go home and read this book and enjoy the book, and you never know, might read it twice.
That's right. But if I recall, you did say, I think it was an Australian icon you were hoping would you'd be able to read this book to them. And I think he's a Teddy somewhere on something.
Oh, yes.
That thing you mentioned. You said you'd love to have this book.
That would be amazing. I reach for the stars and dream pretty big sometimes, but one of my...
Put it out there. See what happens.
I've had this theory since I was a kid that if you guess program rage, you've made it. But I tell you what, if I can read my story to Big Ted on Play School,
that's him.
Happy days.
There we go. Everybody watching, if you have any connections to Big Ted on Play School, we've got a goal. We want to get the book read to Big Ted.
Yeah, we've got to get it read to Big Ted.
Any help is welcome.
I can see you smile already. Like it would just be brilliant to be able to go on Play School and read my book on Play School and engage with kids all over Australia in one big thing. Look at all these kids. Look at my book. It's fantastic, and they're learning and they're reading and they're taking it in and having a giggle as well. So that'd be the case.
I think Big Ted is the Oprah Winfrey of children's books, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely Oprah. A huge fish in the scene. Like I don't know. Humpty Dumpty's pretty big, but Big Ted is.
Big Ted's the one. Anyway, Will, it's great talking to you. Thank you so much again for your time. It's been great. And everybody watching, thank you for joining us tonight. And we look forward to, bigger and better things coming from Will Braid in the future. And everyone stay healthy and stay well during this time.
Now.